What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we're talking about what is my favorite flanker and one of my favorite designer fragrance lines for men, blue fragrance line. A lot of you know that that's my jam. 9 times out of 10 I'm down with just wearing a blue fragrance, especially when it comes to fragrances like Yves Saint Laurent's YSL Parfum. I'm going to dive into this one. Stay tuned. So before we get going, I want to thank PerfumeOnline.ca for sending this my way. For those of you not familiar with PerfumeOnline.ca, they are Canada's #1 online discount site. They have designer fragrances such as YSL Parfum, many others from the house, other mid-level designers, cheap Middle Eastern fragrances, hard to find vintage, some discontinued gems, and of course some niche, all at competitive prices. If you're interested in checking this out, I'll have some links down below. Now let's get into this review. So quickly, we'll take a look at the box presentation real quick. It is a darker rendition of the standard box for the line. Here it says Le Parfum at the bottom. This is a 60 ml 2 ounce. It's black, just like the bottle. Information, barcode. Like I said, nothing really special. They have a batch code here stamped on the bottom. YSL, just a box. In regards to this bottle, standard Y stuff has the Y coming around the side of the bottle, only it's all in piano black. We have a matte black finish for the Y, with where Yves Saint Laurent is in silver, and a gloss piano black on the glass, YSL on top of the cap. Again, fragrance info with batch code on the bottom. Cap does click into place, and then atomizer puts out pretty good. Whew, man. Let's talk about this scent. So I have the notes from Parfumo on screen. This one opens up, even though it's not listed, the way the aldehydes and grapefruit with ginger come across to me, a little bit of a fizzy, orangey type of smell. Now, some may not relate to that. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's the way I interpret the notes. Maybe it's how it smells on my skin. But the apple doesn't start to settle in until I get into the heart a bit. But there is plenty of fizzy and sparkly aldehydes here. Dare I say, at least as much or possibly even more aldehydes than in the original Eau de Toilette, because that's what I really loved about the original Eau de Toilette formula. That was my favorite version. Why? Until I got this. I did have a decant of this prior. It does have that sage, geranium, lavender, aromatic, minty, fresh heart that ties it into the rest of the DNA, just like the apple ties it into the DNA for pretty much the rest of them, minus like the Eau Fraiche, which is lemon and ginger, which the ginger repeats in here. This really does smell like a richer take on the original. I would say it has some of the sweetness and the power of the Eau de Parfum while maintaining most and majority of the freshness of the Eau de Toilette. For it being a Parfum flanker, that's very surprising. Like, it has all that fresh brightness because, like I said, all of these aldehydes that they put in the top, with a high oil concentration that provides this dense, thick, rich, and robust smell to the aroma. And then as it settles down, there's woods. Even though I don't recall ambergris being listed, I still get that ambergris smell from the other flankers, the original baseline fragrances for this. All in all, the main accords here, it's extremely fresh, citrus, crisp and fresh, spicy, a little sweet and musky. It's pretty much that simplistic. I love wearing this fragrance. I'm such a fan. I'm such a fan of this one. This smells top notch. If you're into blue fragrances, this is probably a top 5 all-time blue fragrance for me, which the DNA as a whole was already top 5 for me, but this surpassed the Eau de Toilette as my personal favorite. I do love all of the fragrances in the line. This one just kind of stands tall because it really speaks to me as far as the way it smells mixed with the way the performance is. And speak of the performance, let's dive into that. So with this one, it's about as long lasting as what I get from the Eau de Parfum. It's in that beastly territory. I get more in that 9 to 10 hour range pretty easily. So it's safe to say 8 to 10 hour range in longevity for this one. Projection, it's not quite as loud at first as the Eau de Parfum. The Eau de Parfum is definitely the strongest of the group. The EDT's the brightest, the EDP's the strongest and the sweetest. It's a little cloying. Here, you lose some of that cloying sweetness while still maintaining a lot of the freshness mixed with some sweetness. So the projection here, I would say it is still slightly above average, maybe a little bit better than Arm's Reach. Not quite the room filler that the Eau de Parfum can be depending on your spray routine and how it reacts on your skin in the first place, but this one's slightly above average. I would say for about 2 hours is pretty much what it's been. Like I said, I've spent quite a bit of time with this one. I've had a few wearings out of this bottle, but I did have a 3 ml decant that I burned through completely prior to it, so I've had a good bit of experience with this one. Like I said, huge fan. The sillage here is on the moderate side, so I do get random whiffs throughout pretty much the entirety of the life of the fragrance on my skin before it becomes a faint skin scent. I never really have to search for it. Random movements, it will remind me. I will get random, nice, moderately strong hits, hence the reason I say it's a moderate strength sillage throughout the life. It's just a lovely fragrance to smell. It definitely garners some compliment attention. My wife's a big fan of this line as a whole. She loves this flanker just as much as all the other ones in the line. But as far as a personal wearing experience, it's the right type of performance to match the scent profile for me, whereas it's strong without being too strong. It's long lasting. It's not intrusive and abrasive like the eau de parfum can be. That can be a cloying, overwhelming scent for the wearer, depending on how you spray, and for those around you. So I really think the performance is the cream of the crop in this line. The way this performs with me, I think, is the best performing for my taste and my wearing situation when it comes to the scent profile. So across the board, safely 8 to 10 hours longevity, above average for about 2 hours arm's reach and a little bit beyond in projection, and the sillage is moderate. My final thoughts on Y Le Parfum. Like I said, this is my favorite one, so that would garner it to get a higher rating than the others that I've done individual reviews on, right? You would think so, and that's what it's going to be. I think this is an outstanding blue fragrance. I put this up there with the Polo Blue Parfums, the Bleu de Chanel Parfums, and so on. The Parfum flanker is usually my favorite. When it comes to designers, that's usually the case. Not always the case. I'll give you an example. Eros, I prefer the Eau de Parfum to the Parfum. Slightly, not by a large margin. But when it comes to Bleu de Chanel, Parfum. Sauvage, Parfum. Why Le Parfum? Why? The Parfum. La Nuit de l'Homme. The Le Parfum. And so on. You get the idea. So for me, like I said, this is outstanding. Why Le Parfum? For me, it's a 9 out of 10. This is awesome. This is one of the best blue fragrances in my collection. Easily top 5 regardless of price point. It just makes me super happy to wear this one. At the end of the day, the emotions that these fragrances evoke from you should be most important, at least for me. That's what's most important. How do I feel when I wear it? How do I feel when I smell this fragrance? Outstanding. Hence the 9 out of 10. So, that is my review of Y Le Parfum. Thank you once again to PerfumeOnline.ca for sending this my way. I am so over the moon happy to finally have a bottle of this one. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my assessment? Some of you are going to agree with my assessment. Some of you are going to disagree, and that's okay. Keep it respectful. We can have a great conversation about how and why you disagree with me in the comments. It's all good. It's a subjective art form. Not everybody's going to feel the way I feel about it. If you do want to pick up this 60 ml, I do have a link down below from PerfumeOnline.ca, which is where this bottle came from. And until next time, we'll say if you get your hands on Y Le Parfum and you give it a spray now. If you like blue fragrances or the Y DNA at all, I'm extremely confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.